Hi, so I want to share with you the story of Jacob and Esau. This is a very old story that I've always loved and did a devotion on about 15 years ago, and never shared it before because I totally disagree with everything that I've heard of Rebecca and everything that I've heard on Jacob. So I've never shared it, but now that I'm older, I'm not so scared anymore. So decide I'm going to share it. And besides, I I got led to read it over again this morning, and so I decided I would share it with you guys now that I'm a little bit more bolder. Okay, so we're gonna read from Genesis 25, verse 21. And basically, this is where Rebecca married Isaac, and now she's pregnant, and she has twins, and we're going to pick up from 21. So Isaac pled, well, she was wasn't able to have a baby. So here's Isaac pleading to the Lord for her to be able to get pregnant. And the Lord, on behalf of his wife, he went pleading to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was unable to have children. The Lord answers Isaac's prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant with twins. But the two children struggled with each other in her womb. So she went to ask the Lord about it. "Why is this happening to me?" she asked. And the Lord told her, "The sons in your womb will become two nations. From the very beginning, the two nations will be rivals. One nation will be stronger than the other, and your older son will serve your younger son." So we need to remember that. Your older son will serve your younger son. This is what God told Rebekah. And when the time came to give birth, Rebekah discovered that she did indeed have twins. And so she realized that what God had told her was the truth, and that she did have two sons in her womb that was struggling with each other. But the key point in this story to remember is that God said the older will serve the younger. And the traditional Jewish culture is the older always take the lead position. And the reason why, it is a gift, it's a birthright. You being born a male gives you the birthright to, after your father passed away, to lead the family. You get a double portion of everything your father owned. When you leave a will, you would divide it up. If you have 4 children, you would divide it all up, one apiece. In this case, he gets 2 apiece, and everyone else gets what's left over, divided evenly. So he gets the double portion. So this is a big deal to God. This is to honor you as the firstborn, because it's a big responsibility to take up what your father has left behind, and he wants to make sure you are equipped to be able to lead your family. So here we are now. The boys have grown up, Esau and Jacob, and Esau loved to go hunting. Jacob loved to stay home. Dad loved Esau because Esau would always bring home bring home meat to make great meals. And Rebecca loved Jacob because Jacob stayed home. Jacob stayed close to home always. One would refer to him as a mama's boy. But Jacob, I'm sure, as each and every single one of us, sense that we are created for something specific. We are created to glorify God in the gifts and the talents that he's given to us. And I truly believe he sensed there was something different about him. I mean, if you remember in the story, when Esau was getting ready to be born, Jacob grabbed a hold of Esau's heel as if to say, I want to get there first. And Esau pushed his way out. But I'm sure a part of him knew there was something special about him. Rebecca knew there was something special about him because God told her so. And I'm almost positive if she had a great relationship with her husband, I'm sure she shared with her husband what God had told her about the boys, that the older one will serve the younger one. That would mean the blessing would be going to the younger one, which is unheard of. In the Jewish culture, it's unheard of. Later down in scripture, you can see it a couple other times where it was transferred to the younger brother. But at this particular point in Genesis, this was the first time that there was a switch. So here is Esau coming home from hunting, starving, hungry, famished. And Jacob prepare a pot of red stew, lentil stew, not soup, stew. And he comes home starving and he asks for a bowl. And Esau says, the only way you're going to get a bowl is if you sell me your birthright. Stew? Birthright, something that is valuable, something that God holds dear to his heart, that he gives to a firstborn as a privilege to be able to lead the family, to get the double portion of a blessing. Should I sell this to my brother because I'm hungry right now? Or should I just go prepare a meal or grab something to hold me through till I finish preparing a meal? He sold it to his brother. So this is where the disagreement comes in. I do not agree with that Jacob tricked his brother. He did not trick his brother. He presented to his brother an option, a proposal, if you may. Sell me your birthright. Here is the stew, I'll give it to you, and you give me a birthright. Easy transaction. A yes or a no. And he chose to say yes. He bought it. And I truly believe God was not pleased with that. That shows he did not put value on his birthright. He despised his birthright after he realized what he's done. But that was his choice. We all make choices that we regret, and that's why we should be slow to listen and just make a good biblical decision and not just rush into anything and everything. And he made that decision to sell his birthright to his brother. His brother now owns the birthright, just as God had told his mother Rebecca that the youngest one is going to rule. The oldest is going to serve the youngest. That just came to pass in the prediction of what God told her before they were even born. Now, here we are. Jacob now owns the birthright. Along with the birthright comes the blessing, the double portion of the blessing. I'm sure Rebecca had told this to her husband. I'm sure he knew this, but of course he would disagree. He would not want the blessing to go to Jacob because Esau, his favorite, should have the blessing because rightfully so, he was the firstborn. But that's not what God had said to Rebecca. And so he decided he was going to make a plan for Esau to receive the blessing. So he called him over and he says, listen, go hunting, bring home a game, prepare it so I may eat it and then bless you, because he was getting ready to die. He's preparing himself to die. His wife overheard him, Rebecca, called over her son, Jacob, their sons, and said, hey, your dad is preparing to die. I want you to do this. Follow my instructions and everything will be fine. Of course, he was fearful. He did not want to be considered as tricking his father or getting caught and being cursed. But his mother said, trust me. I will take care of everything. Let the curse fall on me. Because she knew what God had told her. She knew what God said was going to take place. And I'm almost positive she shared that with her husband. And so when he decided to go against what God had predicted, she stepped into action. And she disguised her son to receive the blessing. Not condoling that that should have taken place at all. But at the same time, I do understand that. My point in this lesson is to say, let us not take for granted. Let us not disregard the gifts, the talents, all the things that God have invested in us for us to do, and just throw it to the side, disregard it, not operate in those things that God has invested in us, have entrusted us with. Let us be about our Father's business. Let us value those things, no matter how small or how big it may seem. Let us value them, because Scripture tells us if we don't do what we're supposed to do with the little that was given to us, it will be taken away and be given to someone else. That is being good steward with what they have. And I truly believe that God knew the heart of both brothers. And so that's why he said he hated Esau, because of Esau not valuing what he had given to him. I hope this is a blessing to you today. I hope you will be mindful to be good stewards with everything that God has blessed you with. I love you guys, and I thank you so much for your support. I will see you on the next video. Thanks.